Shall I start?
Yes.
Okay, once again, good morning everyone. So, before anything else, before I formally start my discussion this morning, allow me to ask this question. When can you say that you need help, and when can you say that you don't need help? Yes, I am.
For me, example is that when the teacher gives a task, for me, kaya lang ako sa help. And if that certain task, hindi na ko kaya, hindi na ko magulog ako, kaya lang help sa teacher.
Very good. Yes, Miss Jana, do you have the answer?
So, when I feel that I needed help, that's the kind of what ko dapat. It's like, for example, kapagos, wala yung connection sa mo, and then, give you kayo ng emotion, or main ko katulad sa atubunit, and then, my friend Joy, huwini habang na, and hindi ko kailangan ng emotion life, and if kaya na ako, if nakapromote mo ko niya, kaya na ako take steps, then,
Thank you very much. That's a great experience of yours. So, good day everyone. Well, I will be talking about the basis and policies of special inclusive education, the review of the basis, the psychological basis, which are the continuation of the previous reporter, Mr. Lawrence Kiba. So now I will be discussing about the Live by God's Kids folding and delayed situated learning. But before anything else, everyone kindly read the learning objectives, read in unison.
At the end of the lessons, the students will be able to understand the principles of biology, folding, and
Situated learning.
identify the theories of psychological basis and basic guidelines, appreciate the importance of guidance support and contextual learning in fostering deeper understanding.
Thank you very much. So, let us define first the psychological basis. It is the scientific study of human behavior or in educational situations. So, why is it important to discuss or to understand the psychological basis? It is knowing the psychological basis of special and inclusive education is vital. It helps us, especially us as a teacher, because through studying this, we'll be able to understand the diverse needs of our learners, create a learning strategy, and can create an inclusive environment. So let us know first Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky he was born in Russia in 1896, a prominent Russian psychologist in early 20th century. He was known in his social-cultural theory, which emphasizes on social interaction and cultural context in cognitive development. So, before we'll discuss about his definitions of scaffolding, allow me to give you other sources of scaffolding. So, scaffolding, according to Wood, Brunner, and Ross in 1976, it is a support for learning and problem solving that comes from outside the learner. So the key terms there is giving support to learners. Very good. So according to Lev Vygotsky, scaffolding, it is a method of teaching that helps learners understand educational content by working with an educator or someone who has better understanding on the topics. Or in other words, scaffolding talks about giving a support to the learners. So who are these people who will usually give support? So, teachers, parents, and chorus. Yes, Abby. Parents, another. Teachers, another. Peers. Alright. Kisaya sum it up all. So those are the more knowledgeable individuals or others, or the MPO. So in scaffolding, there are 4 guidelines. First, match tasks to students' needs. So in order for you to have an effective scaffolding, you must Alright, before we will discuss about the guidelines for us to understand better about scaffolding, let us focus on zone of proximal development. So Vygotsky scaffolding is part of the education concept of zone of proximal development, or ZPD. The ZPD is the set of skills or knowledge a student can do on her own, but can do with help or guidance of someone else. So again, it is the skills, and the MTO will going to give a support, will going to scaffold in order to the students will be able to reach their full potential, or will be able to reach the intended learning that they are going to learn. Am I understood? Alright, let me give the chart. So here, what I can do. So these are the tasks or activities that students cannot accomplish even with assistance. Why do you say so? Yes, Ventolero. Why do you think that students cannot accomplish the task even with assistance?
Even with assistance?
Yes.
But for me, even if you have assistance, you cannot accomplish it. There are challenges, or there are miscommunication with your peers or friends, so that's it.
Yes, could be. Okay, so what I can do, these are the tasks again that can accomplish with the students or children. It is because this task or activities is out of their current ability. So definitely the students cannot accomplish through the tasks that will be given to the teacher. It is because they don't have prior knowledge in that. Am I correct? So let us go back to essentialism. We talks about, start with basics. Very good. So the second zone is what I can do with help. So this time, during the musulod si ZPD, zone of proximal development. ZPD again, it is the set of knowledge that, or it is a set of skills or knowledge that between the gap of the students that cannot do, I can't do with help, and I can do with independently. So what needs to be done to the learner where he needs to be. So at this time, during musulod si CPD, which of course with assistance of MTO, more knowledgeable. There is a presence of MTO. So naapo diri kay sintama ng presence ng MTO, naapo diri ang scaffolding. Alright, so for example, you are giving or you are discussing about English subject. So in order for you to have, in order for the students to learn about the subject or your topic, so let's just say let us focus on sentence, the words, and paragraph. So first things first, you need to introduce the sounds of the letters. And right after, they can pronounce the words, then they can create a sentence and into paragraph. Am I understood? Yes. Okay, would you mind to give another example, Mr. Gino? In the zone to what I can do with help.
So I can do that, for example, in classroom settings. So the teachers act as a facilitator. So especially with the students with disabilities, then as some or even physical disabilities. So there are things that they cannot do, or there are things they can do with help. Okay, so that's it. That is for the example. As I have observed during our field interview, especially in the STEM, some of the learners need assistance. And the teachers must do it other learners learning.
Thank you very much. So the presence of the MTO or the more knowledgeable other is very important to achieve the learning goal of the student. Okay, let us proceed to what they can do. these are the tasks or activities that students can accomplish independently. So since the students master the skills, the topic of the given topic by the teachers, at this time, you will let the student do the task independently. So since you already checked that the students learn, the students master the given task, so at this point, naana diri ang ginatawag nato o zone of achieved development, where the learner is right now. Asa na dapit ang student nga makabalo na siya nga walay assistance sa MTO or others. Am I understood? Yes, sir. Any question? Alright, let's proceed to the guidelines for using 5 skills scaffolding in the classroom. First is match tasks to students' needs. So it is very important for us teachers to know the needs, the gap of the students, for us to be able to identify which part we're going to fill in the gap. Am I correct? So match tasks to those students' needs. For example, if you're teaching an elementary student, and then you're introducing algebra, do you think elementary student can understand?
No.
Of course not. Because their current ability cannot, comprehend, cannot match the topic that you are given to them. So, what do you think is the best way to do in order for you to have an effective learning? Start with basics. Another. As what I have said earlier, know the needs of students, for you to be able to match the topic that you are going to teach and the needs of the students. Second is let students set their own instructional goals based on their CPD. So this time, since you give the task, you give the topic to the students, at this time, you need to let the students create the instructional goal. Say for example, you are discussing about economics, since we are social studies. So in order for you to create an instructional goal for the students, you need to let the students do hands-on. So say for example, economics. Since economics talks about how we allocate budget, how we allocate the limited resources to our unlimited ones, how we are going to save, how we are going to budget, so on and so forth. So in order for you to have or to create an instructional goal for the students, you need to let the students create their own goal. So say for example, Miss Janilyn Kataytay has 50 pesos balon every day. So, kung saan man niya pag-budget, ang iyang 50 pesos na mukhaan pa siya, musnak pa siya, o complete pa siya. So, with that, makabalo siya through hands-on experience, di ba? So, makabalo siya, sige, muli akong goal karon. So, dapat makalearn ko mag-save. So, sa TC teacher po, siya po mag-save. So, every day, yan i-check. Yan i-check kung nag-save ba kung dinod si Miss Janilyn, tapos kung sa ihang na-learn. Di ba? Pag-understand?
Yes.
So let's proceed to use various supports like questions, diagrams, and stories to guide learning. So, moto siya. So, imong gamitan of various support. So, para ma-motivate po siya, no? So, para itong matag question every day. Diba? So, ma-motivate siya nga, check. Wala man ang estudyante nga, check nero ni teacher. So, dapat ako din tumanon. Naman po ni grades. Diba? So, fourth one is gradually reduce support as students become more confident with the material. So, since nakabalo naman siya mo save, tapos na-accomplish na niya ang goal, so imo nang i-reduce ang support. So, with that, maka-realize na po ng bata nga unsa importansya sa pag-save. Diba? So again, if the students, if you see that the students learning, the students following instructions, if the students mastered the given task, then that's the time that you gradually reduce support para for the independent learning. Okay. So any questions regarding to this? So if none, according to the book that I have read yesterday, scaffolding has 4 levels. So if you can still remember, I do,
You watch.
you watch, very good.
I do.
Next,
I help.
I do,
You do. You help.
I do,
I do. You watch.
I do,
You help.
you help. Third one,
You do. I watch. I
you
watch.
do,
I watch. I watch.
I help.
I help.
The last one is,
I help.
you do,
I watch.
watch. So, anyone who can give an example from this? Yes, Jairo, do you have?
I do, you watch. So, for me, example, sir, is that if akong i-relate sa kuang field, which is kanang mag-draw, is that if ako siyang tudluan ng shading, I will demonstrate him on how to shade. So, basically, pag man ako pakita niya kung saan ang mga strategy sa pag-shade in terms of drawing. So, next is, ako siyang tabangan. So basically, ako siyang like dapat gaan ra imong kamot, dili kay siya idunok. And next is yes, diday, you help paday. So next is ako na gud siyang i-shape na nako ang iyang kuan para kabalo na gud siya kung saan pag-shade. And the last one is to yes, ako na ang maglantaw siya giun sa niya pag.
Very good. So yes, Miss Isay, do you have any other
Yeah,
example?
for me, my idea is that the first two sentences, I do, you watch, I do, you do, I do, you help, is for the teacher. You
Definitely.
do, I help, you do,
I watch.
It's for the learner.
To do hands-on.
Yes, to do what the instructions intended for her to demonstrate.
So very good. So do you understand about these 4 levels of scaffolding? So do you have any question? If not, let us proceed to the next theories, which is Jinlei situated learning. But before anything else, let us know the issue. Yes, Miss Jamaika, can you read?
She is a social anthropologist and learning theorist who earned her PhD from Harvard in 1968. She is known for her work on situated learning and communities of practice.
Thank you so much. So, Jinlei situated learning, it is the concept that this theory focuses on that learning occurs with authentic context, culture, and activity, and it is widely unintentional. It promotes the idea that students learn better in collaborative group settings and when the activities are based on real-life experiences. So the idea behind the situated learning theory is that we learn when we do real things in real places with real people. So according to him, learning doesn't just happen in the four corner of the classroom, but rather it happens when we do real things and experience things in real life. So for us to understand better, let us focus on the 3 guidelines for use situated learning. Number 1 is authentic context. Learning involves a setting that creates an authentic real-life context. Say for example, so the same example for you to deeply understand when we discuss about economics. So authentic context means, authentic means real. Yes, real. Authentic context meaning you are exposing the students, the pupils in the real life scenarios for them to learn. Because according to him, merely discussing in front of the class, in front of the students about the definitions, students cannot learn according to him. Through real exposure of the discussions, the real things, the students can easily learn. So, say for instance, economics again. you are talking about how to budget, how to save money. So I will give a task to everyone in which all of you will in 1 month you will save 100 pesos. So I mean you can save 100 pesos. So each one of you will find a strategy for you to learn, for you to save from your balon, right? So with that, you can appreciate nga importante kayo mag-save. Dili kay makatabang ra ko sa akong self, but of course makatabang sa ko sa akong ginikanan. So with that, instead of discussing class, importante kayo ang mag-save, importante kayo ang dili mag-save gastos sa akong kwarta kay nanin atong ginikanan ni kamo. Probably dili maka-appreciate ang students. But when we give them really hands-on how to save, maka-realize din sila nga importante yun ang pag-save. Am I understood?
Yes.
Okay, let's proceed to legitimate peripheral practice or scaffolding. Can you read everyone?
Students are collaborating as a novice in the subject matter, and instructors become more of a facilitator and provide scaffolding of the learning.
So this time, legitimate peripheral. When we say legitimate, it is true. Yes, tinuod. Peripheral, it refers to outside or outer edge. So meaning, there should be a practice of learning outside of the contents in which the students, which students didn't encounter yet, or something like that. There is a practice outside of the context nga wala pa nila nabalaan. And there is a presence of scaffolding there. So, for example, we are discussing about language. So, of course, first thing you do is to let the students experience, let the students experience to observe. Let us focus on kaning language in which deliver of speech. So, in order for the students to learn first, yung buhaton is you let the students observe. So, say for example, kung Mascardo delivering speech. So, Hayat first serve as a student. So, she will observe Kuya Mascardo on how Kuya Mascardo delivers speech, the techniques, the flow. So, right after, Hayat will be given a simpler task. So, just like writing an essay, then delivering in front of the class. So, that's there is a presence of scaffolding, which kaning scaffold si teacher, mura pag muhatag pag kaning constructive feedback ba, nga, okay, Hayat, kaning during a part where need ka improvement, so may presence sa scaffolding. Then, if mamaster na ni Hayat, pwede na si Hayat ang represent silang school for kaning mga speeches contest. So again, at first, you need to let the student first observe, then give a simpler task, then right after, let the students do if master na niya ang given task. And the last one is communicative practice or collaboration. So the students move from the periphery within the communicative practice circle as they learn and collaborate with one another. So, since Hayat master how to deliver speech, what are the parts of speech. So at this time, the teacher also allowed Hayat to share her expertise, her experience to her classmates. So there is what we call collaboration. Very good. So Hayat will collaborate with her classmates. Kay si Hayat naman nag-serve as an MPO. So siya na po yung help sa teacher ng scaffold sa iyang classmates. Do you have any question? Am I understood?
Yes.
So before I end my discussion today, allow me to give you a quote, and which all of you will try to reflect on what is this quote all about and how it relates to my discussion. by so no man is an island. So the say kanang quote, we always hear that quote. But I want you to reflect on how this quote relates on situated learning, scaffolding, to the both theories. Sige, I'll give you 1 minute to reflect, and then I will call randomly. No man is an island. Yes, Master Ramsey, stand up. What are your thoughts?
So for me, so if I your reflection go to the scaffolding situated learning, so no one is an island. So no one is an island is that kanang dili ka maka you need the help of others. So dili ka maka survive if you are the only one to kuan. Basta yan na. So in order to connect in scaffold, first I will connect it to scaffolding. So yes, scaffolding is with the help of others. So yes, by so scaffolding is you need the help of others. Yes, you need the help of others, and they, for example, the teacher, the scaffold as a teacher to become more independent. So in situated learning, you have to hands-on experience para you have to go hands-on experience para makabalo ka kung sa mga pamaagi para to become more independent.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Ayun. Yes.
Our reflection is and the truth here is that no man is an island. It talks about things that no man is necessarily independent. You are alone, so you need a support from the others. That's why there are theories that support our learning to develop, to be independent, and to know why we are guided by these people, by those people that who are belong to MPO, those knowledgeable others, and all we know that both of them also including the theory of Pandora talks about social learning theory. So since we know that learning involves the social interaction and also the guidance of the others, that's why.
Thank you so much. So no man is an island. So according to the two theories is that you cannot learn alone. You cannot learn independently. You cannot learn without the help of others. So therefore, allow me to give this lines from this song Pananagutan that walang sino man ang nabubuhay para sa sariling lamang. Tayong lahat ay may pananagutan sa isa't isa. So that will be all.